In the bustling city-state of Singapore, a remarkable leader emerged, whose vision and determination transformed the nation into a global economic powerhouse. This is the story of Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's founding father, and his profound relationship with Business China Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of Singapore, had an early vision of a prosperous nation with strong ties to China. He foresaw the rise of China in terms of both economic and geopolitical might.
Another 30 years, China's GDP will be equal or more than that of America. So it is necessary for us, if we want to do business, to leverage both our cultural and linguistic affinities. We are close to them, we can do business with them.
He was one of the few world leaders who had met with all generations of the Chinese leadership.
我相信邓小平在1978年到新加坡的时候，他觉得相当惊奇。我们利用资本主义的办法，建造一个公平合理的一个社会，居者有其屋。所以我跟他讨论这个问题，跟我们的财政部长当时的吴清瑞跟他解说，这些外国公司、跨国公司，他们带来他们的工艺、他们的管理经验、他们的市场，培养我们、锻炼我们的工人，锻炼我们的毕业生。结果10年、20年内，我们的人才就相当有技术了。
As a small nation with limited resources, Mr. Lee recognized the economic advantages of collaborating with China.
所以我们如果没有趁这个机会跟中国扩大我们的经济贸易、投资各个方面的关系，那是会失去了很大的损失。
Mr. Lee knew that Singapore needs to promote and nurture bilingualism and biculturalism in order to be equipped with the skill sets required to engage with China in the future.
But if you give up Chinese, you have lost something very valuable. And you mustn't give it up. I've spent a whole lifetime catching up with my Chinese. You've got to distinguish between bilingual and bicultural. Bilingual, you just learn the language. Bicultural, you understand the culture of the people. And I don't think foreigners learning the language outside China will understand the culture of China. It is if you are doing business there for a few years that you begin to appreciate how different the society is organized and how important it is to cultivate relationships, 关系.
Recognizing the importance of building a strong link between Singapore and China, Mr. Lee's vision came to life with the establishment of Business China Singapore. With support from the Singapore Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Business China successfully launched in November 2007. Mr. Lee's vision for Business China is to nurture a bilingual and bicultural group of Singaporeans who can create a cultural and economic platform that links Singapore to China and, as an extension, China to the rest of the world. To ensure success, he advocated support for the organization at the grassroots, social, cultural, educational, and business levels.
The media, schools, tertiary institutions, and the Ministry of Trade and Industry and IE Singapore will support the work of Business China.
Business China Singapore acted as a bridge, providing a platform for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals from both Singapore and China to connect, network, and explore opportunities for cooperation.
Singapore government-linked companies and Singapore businessmen are known in China to be reliable and straightforward. Singaporeans will find doors open for them in the provinces, the cities and towns.
Over the years, trade, investment and cultural exchanges flourished thanks to Mr. Lee's foresight and strong support towards Business China. His guidance and insights proved invaluable in nurturing the organization and maintaining strong ties with China.
我认为我们的下一代年轻一代会了解，政府官员没有办法制造财富，只有企业家可以创造财富。希望大家利用这个机会，我们铺平道路，你们要走这个道路。谢谢各位。
2023 marks the 100th anniversary of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's birth. Business China will continue to carry on his legacy to nurture an inclusive bilingual and bicultural group of Singaporeans so as to sustain our multicultural heritage and develop a cultural and economic bridge linking the world and China. The legacy of Lee Kuan Yew and his profound relationship with Business China Singapore reminds us that the strength of a nation lies not just in its economic might, but in the bridges it builds to connect with other nations.